The contents of this DVD are going to cover position escapes and submission escapes. You're going to find unique about this DVD is that not only that I'm escaping the positions and submissions, that it leads to positions, other dominant positions and submissions as well. So as I escape your position or your submission attack, as I'm escaping or in your submission attempt, I'm going to show you a sub or to gain a better dominant position. Some of the positions I cover are what you see today, the Shaolin / Darce chokes, arm bars, triangles, foot locks, and bad positions. This submission escape I'm going to show you is the Statue of Liberty escape. Okay, real simple position, which of course you guys should already know too, being here in the US, is the Statue of Liberty. Looks like this, right? Okay, so that's the position I'm gonna look like as I'm getting my armbar escape. So again, I'm in armbar position here as my opponent's even getting closer to the armbar where he's almost at the point of finishing the armbar. Right away I want to tuck my chin in. Okay, now look towards his ankle. Now I'm gonna lift his leg up with my chin, acting like a hand. I want to sit up and use my hip. Now I grab his ankle, his Achilles tendon here, and I'm gonna turn my thumb like I'm hitchhiking, like I'm asking for a ride. Okay, now once I'm in this position, I need to run to the side where my head was. I need to keep running. Now look, here's the Statue of Liberty position here. You guys see that? Holding my books, holding my torch up. I keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running. Now I get here, I throw my leg up over his stomach, and I pry my arm out and come up to reverse mount. So again, I'm going to show the submission armbar escape, the Statue of Liberty. I call it the Statue of Liberty escape, okay? So again, here I'm in the armbar, real common armbar you'll see a lot in competition, in the gym, okay, is where he's on top of you in armbar and also getting really close to the armbar here, okay? This is a great time to attempt this move. So right away, as I let go of my grip here, I'm gonna attempt to reach right away for his ankle. But before I do that, I wanna make sure my chin is inside. Okay, so right here, as he's fighting for the armbar, I'm working my chin inside. Now I'm gonna turn into his ankle. Now as I release my hand, I'm gonna grab the back of his Achilles tendon, the leg that's on my face. I'm gonna now turn my thumbs up like I'm hitchhiking. Okay, now I'm gonna go towards my head. I'm gonna run towards my head. As I'm running, notice that my thumbs up, I'm turning. Now here's the Statue of Liberty position. Holding my books, holding the torch up. Okay, now I need to make sure this leg goes across the other side of my body here. Okay, I keep running. Now I throw my leg over his stomach. I pry my arm out and I sit up right away. This next armbar escape I'm going to show you is called the rocking chair escape. Okay, it's called the rocking chair is because I'm mimicking my body as a rocking chair. Okay, so again, I'm in the armbar position with my opponent here, and notice, pay attention to detail that he's using his right arm to hook. Okay, he's using his right arm to hook here. Okay, so now I want to use my legs closer to his hips here. Okay, I don't want to be too far away. I want to be nice and perpendicular with my opponent. And I want to use the RNC lock like I'm doing a choke. Okay, or I could do a basic wrist, any kind of grip here. I want to use a lock this time. Okay, me personally, I like to use an RNC lock. Okay, this hand on the bicep, this hand behind the thigh. Okay, right behind the thigh. So now I'm here, and I'm gonna rock my feet back and forth a couple times. Okay. Now what I like to also do is wait for my opponent to arch back. I'm waiting for him as he arch back. 1, 2. Notice I'm timing exactly. I'm timing my legs to come up in a sequence with him. Now I'm here. Now you bring your legs back to sprawl. You push forward. And now you're in this armbar crush position. Post that leg back behind his butt. Still keep pressure as you slowly shim your elbow out. Once your elbow's out, now you can take your hand out, hand on the butt to pass. So again, going over the rocking chair armbar escape, I want to use a good lock, to whatever kind of lock is necessary to keep my arms glued or stuck to my chest, okay? Whatever you prefer. So now I'm also going to use my opponent's momentum to come up. So as he leans back, my legs go down. As he comes up, my knees come up. This little palladium effect here. Okay, now when I feel like he's really going for it, I come up here. Now this is the position we're gonna be in, okay? Now I'm gonna be trying to sit up, but it's not effective because I need to throw my leg back behind me. Now I'll get on my tippy toes and push forward into an armbar crush position here, okay? Still be careful here. You can still attempt an armbar. You still want to apply good pressure, good weight, and good base. So now lift my good base leg up behind him. So now he can't move his hips away, get angle. And I slowly shimmy my elbow out. Just my elbow. I don't want to pull my whole hand out yet. Just the elbow. Now I know I'm safe. This hand that's inside the armbar can help my pass by pushing his leg down to my hip for the pass. So here, another armbar escape. I call it the tricep bridge escape, okay? Now remember on the other armbar escape I showed the rocking chair escape. And that's when is a great opportunity to do when he's hooking you with the arm that's closest to my legs, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about here. This armbar, the rocking chair armbar, is great when he's using his right arm that's next to my legs, okay? So he's using this one. So now the one I'm going to show you is when he's using this arm now, hooking it, okay? So now what I want to do immediately, right when I see him go for this arm to try to get my arm bar, I want to trap it using my outside arm, the arm that he's not trying to arm bar. Trap it, okay? Notice too, I have an RNC lock. I always like to use an RNC lock to defend arm bars here. Now I plant my feet strong. I bridge till I get to my side, and I do a back row. I'm gonna kick my leg and use my legs to kick myself over till I land here. Now be careful. Be careful here. You can still get armbar attempts. So I wanna keep a tight crunch and roll until he's on his other side of his face here. He was here on this side. I wanna get him till he's here, okay? So now, once I'm here, I still got his tricep here. I'm still applying pressure. I post that leg back behind his hips so he can't swivel out. And I put that shoulder down to the ground to crush him. Now I slowly slip that arm out. Now this hand turns on the knee for the pass. So on this one, the tricep bridge armbar escape, I'm going to trap his tricep when he uses his left arm, the arm that's closest to my head, okay, when he scoops that, just like that, okay? This is a great time to hit the tricep bridge escape, okay? Now I'm going back to my stance, keep my feet planted strong on the ground. I'm gonna bridge towards my head here till Donnie's on his side.
Now I'm gonna use my leg to kick, my outside leg to kick over our bodies, over his. Now we're here in this position, this turtle, half arm bar, turtle position. I still want to be careful here because I'm still vulnerable for arm bar here, okay? That's why you got to keep your knee heavy here. So now I'm going to crunch him. I'm going to put my elbows in between my legs and crush him down and get into a roll, okay? So now we're in this position here. Now I want to put that shoulder down and raise my right leg up for better base. Now my shoulder down for pressure. Now I start to make movement, slowly shimmy my elbow out, turn this hand towards his knee, push down towards my hips, and pass.
So again here, another armbar escape to an armbar submission. So I'm here in armbar, applying again the armbar attempt on me. And notice too, my opponent's using both arms to get my arm to try to pry. And also, he's got this leg inside here. He doesn't have this leg out. Okay, now, this only works really good with the knee in, okay? So I'm gonna use a basic lock, any kind of lock. I'm gonna, of course, apply more pressure towards his head to crush him. And I'm gonna put this knee that's supposed to be behind his butt onto the knee on belly. Another little thing, before I throw my leg over and fall down, I wanna turn my thumb down. I don't wanna hitchhike no more. I'm tired of rides. So I'm gonna turn it down. Now I'm gonna fall back. I know I'm off base, but I need to throw that leg over his head. So now he can't come up on me. Notice my thumb is not up, it's down. Okay, now I still keep it hooked. I don't pull my arm out completely. This is the arm that's armbarring him. So I really simply do create like a hook right here, a little S grip, and I add my hips in there and armbar him. So he's trying to armbar me with this arm, and I'm using that same arm to armbar him. Turning the thumb down, adding the hip, and using my fingers. I'm not grabbing his wrist. Notice I'm not grabbing him here. Okay, so going back to the armbar escape, I'm going to try to armbar my opponent using the armbar he's trying to armbar me in. Make sense? If not, I hope so. Anyways, so let's go back to the armbar position. I'm going to try to crush him. Okay, try to mobilize the position. Remember, the leg that's supposed to be behind his butt is not going behind his butt now. Okay, time is running out. You need a submission, not an escape. So I need that knee now to go inside his stomach. Turn the thumb down. Okay, a lot of people keep thumbs up and they go for it, and they end up thinking they're gonna armbar the guy, and they end up getting armbarred. Okay? So the key thing, thumb down. So again, you get armbarred. I'm coming up, the leg behind comes inside. And notice how bad base, I have really bad base here, but it's only good for that quick second. So I need to use that pressure, that pinpoint pressure, turn the thumb down. As I'm falling, I throw the leg over. Now remember, I go to my S grip here to finish him with the armbar. Oh, in this attack, in this triangle attempt my opponent's going to try to do, I'm going to show you a triangle escape, which I call a tripod escape, where I'm having 3 points of my body on the mat. My forehead and my toes. Okay, so here I'm in a regular triangle, and I'm in a deep triangle here.
okay? And you're wiggling out. You're even trying to do the big man turn, okay? What's a great time to do, especially when it's really tight, is in your arm stuck and you can't move, is use your outside hand on top of the shin, not here in front of the thigh, on top of the shin. So raise your hand high, like if you're in school, okay? You raise your hand high. Now you're gonna put your fingers together and go inside the kneecap as much as you can. Notice, still in front of the shin. Now this hand that's inside goes on top and supports that hand. And I'm gonna pin it down to the ground next to his hips here. Boom, which is my first point, which is gonna be my forehead, okay? Now, next is jumping into my toes to create the tripod stance now. Now I'm gonna tackle him going forward, just like a football player, going forward. Now I put my knees back on the ground, take my outside hand in, and clap my hands together. Now I use that leverage to pry back into his guard. So again, when being in a really deep triangle, when you can't free your arm, I'm gonna use the tripod escape, where I'm using my forehead as one point and my toes as for the other 2 points. So now I'm going to attempt my free hand on top of the shin for my first grip. Second, hand on that hand for extra support. Now I'm gonna immediately take his knee to the ground and pull all the way till my forehead touches the ground. And right away, now jump to my toes and push forward, tackle him forward so that triangle lock breaks. Now that I can feel the triangle lock broke, I can set my knees back down for better base, get my outside hand in, clap them together, use that leverage to get back in to close guard. I'm going to show a other triangle escape when your opponent is on top of you, or again, when you're on top of your opponent in a triangle. I call it the Bigfoot escape. Okay, so again, I'm going to be in the triangle with my opponent on top of me. Okay, and notice now I'm going to do the same thing. Use my outside arm first, going inside and controlling the wrist here. Okay, now next is the same side. I need to put the foot on the armpit. Okay, so right away I need to push his arm and go right away to the armpit, not the bicep, because it's real easy for them to weave that wrist through. So once you get here, it's hard for them now to use their elbow. So now I'm gonna kick away and pull this arm in. And now we're gonna land in this little panda stance here, okay? Now I'm gonna use this foot still and with this leverage here to pry my head just slightly off the triangle. Perfect. Now I turn to escape my head out for the triangle. So here's another triangle escape I like to use when my opponent is on top of me with the triangle. Also keep in mind, this also works when you're on top of your opponent while being in a triangle. Okay, so now I'm in the triangle. First things first, I need to make sure at least my elbow, my chin is tucked inside my forearm here. I don't want my chin on top of my arm. I at least want it inside here to buy me some valuable seconds. So now I'll keep this in mind too. Be aware of wrist locks here. Keep it short and strong. So now I'll immediately attack the wrist with my thumb outside. Do not have it like this, have it like that. Okay, so now I have wrist control. He's wiggling, he's trying to wiggle his arm out. Immediately, I need to bring my knee in and kick with my toe. Okay, now I pull his wrist towards my hip and then kick out here at an angle. Okay, now we're gonna be in this little panda sit down position, okay? So now
I'm gonna use still this grip and this foot and his armpit to pry my head out just so slightly. Here, it's very hard to break the triangle lock, so you just want them, you don't want to use too much more muscle to break the lock because you're already out of danger. So what I like to do is now just turn the angle, but still keep the tension to getting out my head fully out. Now I'll go back to tension to sit up. So another triangle escape I like to use is called the Gerber escape. Looks and sounds funny, but it's actually very effective, okay? As you can see, I'm gonna show you the triangle Gerber escape is when you're sitting, you're approaching your opponent, putting pressure on him, making enough space for your legs to open wide so you can sit down comfortably, okay? Now this is the very important part. Notice your arms in the correct position. This is also helping you what leg to attempt and grab. That's the foot that you need to grab, is where your arm's pointing here. Now you need to put the heel on his sternum right there. Boom. Notice two hands like you're praying, just like this, okay? Now I'm gonna pry it off. That hurts. That puts a lot of tension, a lot of pain on his chest, okay? And he does not want to keep the triangle with that kind of pressure. So now that I know I'm gone, I can now go back to the Bigfoot escape. Turn that ankle, keep that tension. The reason why I like this foot on his armpit is because this is the powerful arm to push the head down. Okay, this is the arm that wants the head down here. Okay, this is the in-tight arm, I call it, the in-tight arm. So I want to mobilize that, okay, with my opponent here. So if once I accomplish this heel and create enough space here, I go right away to the big foot. Okay, lean to the side, pop her head out, lean back, keeping that tension on his armpit, post, come up. So again, going back to the Gerber escape, the Gerber triangle escape, I want to tell you why I call it the Gerber escape is because, you know, you'll see your baby, you know, sitting down in the living room, playing with his toys, and you'll see him, you know, once in a while grab his foot and just like so play with it, okay? Kind of looks like a baby, you know, a little Gerber baby playing with his feet. And that's what it pretty much you're mimicking, that movement while you're trying this triangle escape. So here with my opponent in the triangle, okay? So I want to just apply forward pressure a little bit so I can get my legs up and sit back down in a squat position, okay? So now I'm sitting on my butt and my legs in front of me here. And notice my arm's in the right direction, it's not out here, okay? So now I'm gonna grab my foot in front of me, I'm gonna grab my foot, just like a Gerber baby. I'm gonna put the heel on his sternum, right in the center of his sternum. Now do keep in mind, your arm is exposed to an arm bar if he starts to crank. But what's good about this, once you accomplish this foot onto his stomach, it's very hard for him to start flexing and keeping his hips underneath my armpit here tight, because now I got a lot of pressure and I'm a little distant away from his hips because I'm applying pressure here now. He needs his hips more tucked underneath me. Notice I'm pushing away and I'm turning the angle. If I'm straight in front of him, yeah, I got no movement. I'm not giving him enough angle. So I want to turn to the side here. Now I'm good. Now I don't have no fear of my arm not moving. Look how much swivel it has. See that? Now I can let go to the wrist. Pry it out. Use the big foot on the armpit. Come up. Okay, so this one here is really the last resort. I call it the Hulk escape. Is when my opponent already has hooks in and a full rear naked choke. Okay, there's not really much you can do when he's even has the hand properly applied on your back. He's got his head down on the right side, his eyes closed, his locks really nice and tight. This is what I do just to try to get the proper angle escape for me to do the basic hook, prying the hook off. Okay, escape. So watch very closely. He's got a really nice, good guillotine. The hand's behind my neck. He's using his head forward, okay? So right away, I already know I can't get my hands in. I can't pry this hand off. So I'm gonna go around and hug his arms together. I wanna try to squeeze his arms together. I wanna just try to get his elbows together. Because what he's trying to do is trying to get his elbows into my chest. So I'm trying to get his elbows up in the air, just to buy me some time so I get that back escape angle, okay? So I'm here, I'm gonna lock, notice too here, I'm gonna lock over his shoulders here. I'm gonna go here and create this S grip here, like a lock here, okay? A little S grip, see the S, okay? Now I'm gonna swing back, get the S grip, and now clamp. I'm gonna squeeze them together. If you feel like you can't get this grip and it's too uncomfortable, you can do like a Muay Thai grip here, and clamp here. Now I'm gonna use that just to bridge him onto his back and to create the angle and turn. Okay, this is a lot better than being both your carotid arteries being choked. Now this time it's only one artery being choked and your windpipe. So you have one good blood flow, okay? Now you do everything the same. You hip escape, you now get him in half guard, you let him come on top. Boom, you're out. You're still in the game. You didn't come on top. You didn't accomplish anything, but you did accomplish one thing actually, surviving. So here I'm going to show you a RNC escape, which I call the Hulk escape. Is when your opponent even has a properly good hooks in and a good RNC choke on you, okay? He's got his arms locked up properly, his hand locked behind your head good, his head down, even using his head to create pressure, okay? This is the Hulk escape is great opportunity to use when you can't even get your fingertips inside or even try to pry his hand off, okay? So first things first, I want to open my arms down, put my hands down, and now I'm going to hook around his arms, okay? And see, I'm going to create a little S grip here, okay? Behind him, his neck here. If you can't get this grip, you can do like a Muay Thai clinch here, okay? You can go like this. And I want to try to get his elbows together. You see that? I'm squeezing it together. Now I'm going to bridge into it. I'm going to squeeze these together. As I squeeze and bridge into him, his chest, and put pressure towards his chest, I'm going to choose a side. And now I'm going to be aggressive on my neck to turn in. Like that. Now I'm good. Yes, one of my carotid arteries is being choked, but one is being released, letting blood flow going to my head. Okay? But now I just need to worry about a little windpipe pressure. So I don't angle it too much. I just keep it at that angle. I push this knee back in half guard. He knows he can be squeezing for a long time. He knows he doesn't have it. He's going to let go and try to come on top. But at least you escape. Okay, so now I'm going to attempt the Shaolin when he's trying to attempt the rear naked choke. Okay, so now I'm showing you a position before he even locks up a full rear naked choke on me. So as Frangia is trying to attempt the choke here, real simple, I'm going to control his arm with two on one on the wrist, and I'm going to bridge towards Frangia's head side. I want to go towards his head. I don't want to go this side, okay, to escape. I want to put some pressure on him on this side, okay? Where's his head's at? I want to choose this side, to the left, my left. So now as I'm prying his rear naked arm, I'm clearing it. As I'm clearing it, I'm now applying pressure to this side here. So now we're nice and tight here. Now his arm is ready to be, his position is ready to be triangled here. So now I'm going to keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward. Now I'm going to try to lock the RNC. Now I'm going to jump into his guard, like I'm going into his guard now. Now I lock in RNC right there. So now going back to the RNC attempt, I'm going to do a Shaolin when my opponent has my back while attempting the RNC. Remember, this is not when he has it locked ready. This is when he's applying, when he's attempting the choke, okay? So now he's attempting the choke, he's reaping over here. Notice his head's on my left side, so that's the side I want to favor here, okay? Now I want to lock up the, I want to reach for the Shaolin. As I'm doing that, notice my feet here kind of go together here, okay? Like a sharp little pencil now. Now I just spin. I'm using him. I'm not using my feet to spin me, okay? Notice my feet are not touching, the bottom of my feet are not touching the ground here, okay? I'm like this, and I'm scooting myself up to the Shaolin. Okay, so now going back to the RNC attempt, as my opponent is going for RNC, notice my opponent's head's on the left side, so as he's trying to go for the choke, I'm controlling his wrist, the most important one, the choke arm, 2-on-1. And I'm going to favor that side. Before I fall, I want to make sure my head's here. Now I push down with my right arm. I push down. And this one swings up to here. Now my job's not done yet here, okay? Now I need to keep my feet relaxed. Not all flex here, okay? Relax. Real limber, relax here. Now I can also cross my feet if I want, because what I'm trying to create is his hooks off, okay? I want to try to create like I'm a bag or I'm a pole, he's just lying down, okay? So now watch, I keep my legs crossed up, and now I spin. As I'm spinning, I now do a pull up. I pull him up here. Now this one comes with the lock. So again, going back to the RNC Shaolin, I'm reaching out on the 2-on-1 arm. I'm pulling it over my head, and I'm going to use my head to trap it here, okay? Now as I'm here, I'm reaching back for the Shaolin here. I want to also cup his head, okay? So I'm here. He has an ankle, right? Here. Keep my legs straight. A lot of times, people here, they keep their legs bent, and they try to come up, and it doesn't work because their legs are still caught up in the hooks. So the key thing is to relax the legs. Cross them. I like my bottom one to be on top, the top leg. And now I turn my hips. And now I do a pull up. I pull myself up. And this arm's pinning on the ground too. A little detail there. That helps me push myself up over him. Now I lock in that Shaolin. So now I'm going to show a omoplata while being in an omoplata. This time my opponent here is going to omoplata me from the bottom, okay? He's going to omoplata me here. And now he's got enough pressure, it makes me put my knees down, okay? First things first, I need to put pressure on him by putting my close knee on his belly, okay? Notice too, when I put that, my leg comes off the ground and I have good pressure and good base. Now my free hand, that's not being omoplated, grabs his wrist. Now I put my forehead on the ground and shoot my leg through. Now here I'm going to push myself over him till we land in my omoplata on top, where I'm on top now, okay? Now I'm going to sit up. As I'm sitting up, I'm going to reach over his shoulder right here, not nowhere here, his shoulder. Now I'm going to lean forward and pull my arm out, okay? Do not do this. Do not back up and pull yourself out. Now you're too far away. You got to keep up here. Keep that tension and pry your arm out here. Now you can finish him. Leaning over to see, when you're in omoplata, you want to try to see his far ear. You want to see if he's got earwax, which he does. So again, hopefully you see another detail, or I explain another detail while being in omoplata. I'm going to try to attempt the omoplata on my opponent here. Okay, he hits the omoplata, boom, triangle to omoplata. He's working it, working it. One little key detail I like to do is I like to put my leg over my hand, or I would say my hand inside my leg to start the defending, okay? If the pressure is already too painful, I advise you to put your hand in here to buy you some time. Now I put the knee on the belly, put the leg up. Now post the forehead on the ground. As you're doing that, you're gonna be looking for his wrist control. Now I shoot the leg through. Now, if I can, I'm gonna try to control him with two hands here. Two hands. Now I can let go here, post it on the ground, and push, 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 until we land in this position here. Now remember, do not back up. Stay leaning forward. Use this free hand on the neck and to pull and brace your arm out here. Now you can switch grip, put this hand behind you for better support for the pressure on the omoplata. Here is another great back escape I like to do. I call it the Igor escape. Is when your opponent has two regular hooks and a seatbelt grip on you, okay? So we're gonna take the bottom hook side. We're gonna start to try to pin this side first. I'm gonna pin this side on the wall, on the floor here next to me. And now I have my free hand, which my right side is free to put on his hip here. Okay, now once I have my hand on the hip, now I can use my feet to push up towards him so I can start working my other hand on his hip here. Now it looks like I'm in a workout, little dip workout here position. Now I'm good here. I just keep using my hands and my feet to go as high as I can. So now he can't see over my shoulder. I keep going until he can't see over my shoulder line. Now, real simple, I put my feet together and I take out the same side I chose first out. Now my butt can drop out there easily as I hook his leg and fall into good base stance. So here, going back to the back escape, going back to the Igor escape, okay? Remember to always choose the side where your opponent has the armpit control under here, okay? So I wanna first choose this side all the time. I always wanna choose this side first, okay? Because it's harder for me to choose this side because he's got his right hand over the top and it's got a lot of torque power reaching here. So I just want to go with it. I don't want to fight fire with fire, okay? So I just go with it here. And it also lets me be a little tighter with my hand here. Here, I'm not so tight and I can't push because it's got this arm. It could be raising my arm too. So I notice it's a lot easier to put my hand on his hip on this side. So now once I have my hand on the hip, I have enough leverage to push up. As I'm pushing up, it allows my other hand to come up to his hip. Now I'm here in this stance. Notice I keep my legs not close, but wide here, okay? Now, as I escape my hook, I put him in for a second and take that left side leg out. Now I look towards him. As I'm looking towards him, this arm is scooting underneath his leg. How am I gonna bring that leg to me? Is by real simply raising my leg up to my hand. Now I have position, keep my head down, and I hold it 1, 2, 3. Now I can go for a submission. I can go for his back here. I go for toe holds. I like the back, me personally, right here. Okay, right to the RNC. Boom. So another back escape, I call this one the overhand right to Shaolin. Looks real simple. You're gonna look like you're throwing an overhand right. As you're throwing that overhand right, you're having wrist control. When you establish top position, that's when I'm gonna shoot for the Shaolin, okay? So again, remember, going off the seatbelt grip, regular hooks. I'm gonna do the common and basic escape. Choosing a side, sitting on that hook, okay? And this one's gonna still be there, okay? I have the option to keep that one in or out, okay? So I'm gonna do with my foot, flick it out. I want it away. Notice as I'm doing that, I'm having wrist control here. Now here comes that overhand right. Now I'm gonna throw that overhand right. And notice I still keep the back of my head on my opponent. I don't want it on the ground. I want it on him. Keep tension here. Now I keep going, I keep going. Now we're here, I pop my head out and I shoot the Shaolin here. Okay? Shoot the Shaolin, stuff the elbow, lock. And make sure this hand's not low, it's high. And now I can break my hips and now go for the choke. Throw the leg over to secure it, the choke even more. Choke. So again, at a different angle, going back to the overhand right escape to Shaolin, I want you to see the angle of what I'm doing from this angle, that because you're gonna now see a better angle for the arm coming in for the Shaolin, okay? So I'm here with my opponent. I'm choosing my favorite side here. I take it off and I sit on it here. Now I keep this knee up high. And remember, as I'm doing this, all this work here, I'm trying to control his wrist here, the one that's over my shoulder. Okay, now I use the leg that's inside to flick it out. Okay, if you're not that flexible, it's real simple. You can use your other foot there to take it out. If you can't do none of that with your feet, you can just use your hand to take it out, okay? Now here comes that overhand right. Here comes that overhand right. I'm gonna shoot it up. I'm gonna shoot it up all the way. I'm gonna come up here. Here's the wrist control. I'm gonna pull it out here. Now here comes that Shaolin arm. And I stuff it. Here comes that lock. This foot comes in. This other foot, my left one, goes over so he can't back away, and apply the squeeze. Shoot that. This move I call the TRX pass to the back. It's when I find myself in my opponent's open guard while my back is facing him. Okay, so I have my opponent down and I'm in his open guard and my back is facing him. And notice my back is facing him with his legs. I'm on the outside of his, the inside of his legs here. So I want to get my TRX handles, which is simply with your thumbs out and grabbing his ankles here, like so. So first one, I want to choose a side, doesn't matter. I want to choose my right side first. So I want to drop my knee to the ground first with still control of the ankles. Now I'm going to drop to my elbow. Once I hit my elbow, I throw my heel over his thigh. Now I can let go of his ankle because now I'm sitting on it and now it's secured. I post it on the ground to come up, to push myself up. And right there is the arm triangle. So again, the TRX pass, going back to it, I want to make sure that when I have my handle grips here, I don't want to have them too on the outside. I want to make sure I have my handle grips on the inside of his legs here, okay? Now going back again, dropping to my knee, okay, to my elbow. That's my target. Once I hit my elbow, I throw my spinning back heel, slam it to the ground. Make sure you slam it to the ground. And then you're gonna do a sit-up and a push-up at the same time. Now right away to the arm triangle. Arm triangle to the mount. When I am in my opponent's open guard when my back is facing him, this one is one of my favorites I did in Japan in the gi grappling tournament in 2007. I call it the spicy tuna roll.
Okay, so I'm here. I found myself in this situation here, and he was trying to get my back. I was off base here, and he was trying to get my hips and pull me back so he can get my back, okay? So that's when I reacted right away. I used my flexibility. I used a crouch and tried to lock my hands, an S grip around his butt and in front of his hips here, okay? Now I'm gonna roll off my shoulder. Make sure you roll off your shoulder here. Now when you're on your back, that's when you're gonna kick in the back of your thighs here. Now right away, you have the arm triangle. So again, going back to the move, I'm gonna do it from the same angle, and hopefully you can catch another detail as I roll here. Okay, so I'm in this position again, and remember, the trigger is when he's pulling down your hip here. That's what's gonna be able to get that grip here. Now remember to roll. Once you're flat on your back here, you're gonna kick this way, not up, that way. Okay, so just in case if the arm triangle's not there, you got the hooks to the RNC. So again, going back to the position, I'm gonna now hit the arm triangle instead of going for the hooks in the back.
This escape here is off the crucifix position, which I call it freedom escape. Is when my opponent has me in crucifix, I'm going to slide down till my head, the back of my head hits the ground, and I'm going to choose what side I'm going to choose towards his hip, and I'm going to do a back somersault. Okay, almost just like a back roll. Okay, so I have my opponent here. He gets me in a crucifix position, usually common from turtle. Okay, here I'm in this position. Notice he's got his bottom leg hooking my arm. So in order to hook his other leg, I need to slide down more. So I'm gonna slide down all the way to the back of my head hits the ground. Now I can switch to the other leg that's on top. Now I'm going to bring my knees up to my face and now kick out to the other side. Right here. Okay, and it lands you right in perfect side control, hooking the arm, which you can do straight arm bars here and such. So again, from a different angle, going back to the crucifix position, I'm going to show the freedom escape. This time you're going to see a better angle of my position of my head and my arm movement. Boom, he locks it up. He rolls here. Okay, now we're in this position here. Right away, I need to start sliding down and trying to hook my arm here, okay? And I'm gonna use my feet, my heels, to drag me down. As I'm doing that, notice, look, I'm already turning my hand and hooking his top leg. Now I need to choose my head position to the hip side. If I roll here, I'm gonna do a roll and go right into the choke, okay? I don't wanna do that. I wanna go here. Now I'm in good position here. Now I have, my neck's not sore, my neck's turned, just like a perfect back roll we teach you on your first day of class. And right here, look, you land in a great position for attacks inside mount. So now, landing in this position off of the freedom escape, I'm going to real simply hook his arm and place it on his ribs. Now that I put the knee on belly knee with my other leg on the ground as is, I just put the knee on the belly. Do not extend your leg. Do not extend your leg. Keep your knee tight. Now the hand that was on the rib goes on your knee and it slides up. As I'm sliding down, now look, now the foot goes off the ground and goes over the head. And this will finish a regular arm bar, a straight arm bar. If it doesn't work, you can always resort it back to a regular arm bar.
So now going back to the crucifix position, where this time my opponent does not have just my arm. Now he has a seatbelt and the crucifix position, okay? Now, notice too, on this time he now has my arm trapped with his top leg. Okay, perfect. This is how I want it. Now, real quick, I'm gonna now not slide down, I'm gonna go up this time. Now just enough to get my knee underneath his leg here, okay? So now he's gonna be low, so I'm gonna give him a little bump and put my knee underneath his leg, his thigh. Now use my free leg, I'm gonna put it over. Now relax, don't be so tense here, relax. And now use your leg to pry your arm off. As you're doing that, you're shooting this one out like a straight left, like a jab. Now you got mount. Perfectly lands you in an arm triangle position. Shrug, duck, lock. Okay, now going back to the crucifix position where he has this time a seatbelt grip. Okay, now this is a great time to do this when you remember your opponent has a seatbelt crucifix with his top leg trapping your arm. Okay, so now here we're not sliding down. I'm gonna go up now, which is raising his knee off the ground right there. That's what I want now. Once I see his knee off the ground, I slide my knee underneath his leg. And now it gives me my free leg to step over. Now this hand that's stuck does not flex. It needs to relax. Now as it's relaxing, now I flex just my legs and my back, straightening my back here to the mount. Okay, now I have accomplished mount here with the arm trapped on my shoulder. Perfect. I can tap the elbow, pop my head in like a turtle in shell, pop it back out, lock the RNC. This time, if you're short arms, you put on the forehead. If you have long arms, you put it behind your neck. Squeeze. Going back now to the crucifix position with the seatbelt grip. Now this time I'm going to show a variation of the second escape I showed. The same concept with the legs, but now I'm going to end it into a Shaolin submission. So now I'm here. I'm going to, first things first, before I do anything, I want to have wrist control here on the arm that's trying to choke me, okay? You need to first have control. Now I do the upa, do the bridge to get my knee underneath his leg. Perfect. Now I need to pry my arm out or else I'm not gonna have no movement. So now I use this leg to pry this arm out. Boom, perfect. He's gonna wanna come on top. So I'm gonna hit his elbow with my arm. As he comes on top, I'm shooting this over. You see that? Leaving me open right here for the Shaolin attempt. Right there, okay? I'll scoot him more over here for us so you can see. Right there. Stuff it to your elbow or your armpit. Shoot the Shaolin lock. Break your hips towards him. Throw your top leg over to secure the choke. Keep this one high and lean. Now going back to the crucifix position with the seatbelt grip, I'm going to show this with a Shaolin submission at the end. Okay, so going back in this position, I'm gonna use my bridge first to get his knee off the ground. Now I get my knee right underneath his. Once I have that, I throw my top leg over his other leg, his top leg. From now I have the leverage and to pry my arm that was trapped in there. I'm gonna just enough to get my wrist out, okay? Now once I can see my wrist bone, now I'm good to go for the Shaolin lock. Now I abandon everything. I shoot my hand right on his elbow line right here, on the inside of the elbow. Okay? Now I go all fours. And there's my Shaolin right there. There's the Shaolin right there. Okay? I just move my body out and hit the Shaolin right there. Now I can go back, break the hips, follow him, tap.
Okay, another back escape. Actually, not a back escape, a submission while having your back taken. Okay, so I'm here with my opponent, and he's gonna lock up the hooks. Okay, now he's having a hard time, and he's almost feeling like he doesn't have too much control of my hips here. Okay, so he likes to now go in for a tighter control, a body triangle. Okay, just like so, just like a normal triangle, but on your waist. Okay, so now first things first. I need to lock up the latch leg. I need to make sure I put my leg over his latch leg. So now he can't unlock the triangle, okay? It's stuck, ain't going nowhere. Now I need to trap that same latch leg on the floor, trap it to the ground, okay? Now, next, I need to look at my opponent so he can't choke me. If I'm here and trying to attempt this submission, it's not gonna work. So I need to look, I need to be able to see my opponent. Now that I can see my opponent, 2 hands onto the inside of the kneecap, and I'm gonna bridge using my hips, which create my opponent to tap because of an ankle lock. It's directly on the ankle. No knee or hip whatsoever. Just, it hurts the ankle. So now going back to the back control, while my opponent has a body triangle, I'm going to submit my opponent while my back is being taken. So my opponent here is locking up the body triangle, adjusting to get his hips more tighter to me. So right away, I need to see his latch leg. I need to take advantage of my eyes here and throw my leg over his latch leg now. I don't want to throw it over lazy. I want to throw it over and tight and keep it trapped so he ain't going nowhere. Now, I choose that same side that he has his latch leg onto the floor here, okay? Next, I need to start to look at my opponent. I need to start to see my opponent here. Now, I use my hands on the inside, not the top, the inside on his knee. Now I bait my feet on the ground close, and I hit my hips as I'm bridging. So again, with the body triangle, going back to the body triangle where my opponent now has the triangle, but now not letting me choose my side I want, okay? So now I'm here with my opponent with the body triangle, but this time he's not allowing me to choose my side that I want. He's forcing me on this side, which is the proper side you guys should be doing body triangles on, okay? So now here, I'm trying to get the latch over, and I'm trying to move to the side, and it's just not working, okay? So first things first, I need to do with my legs and go out, bring it back. See, I bring my leg in, okay? So I'm up here defending. Now I bring it back, and I bring it over, and I bring it in. Now my bottom hand grabs that foot and raises it up. Now my elbow comes inside. As my elbow is turning into him, I'm trying to find his stomach. Once I find his stomach, I'm good. Now I can plant it to the floor. Okay? Now I'm gonna push him away, and just to get that knee in here. Right to the footlock. So now going back to the body triangle, I'm going to now show you a footlock off of the escape. Once I break open the triangle, the body triangle, I'm going to show you the master key escape. I call it the master key escape, okay? So now remember here, my opponent here got the body triangle. I'm trying to latch. He's not letting me choose this side, okay? He's forcing me on this side, okay? So now I'm trying to latch. He's not letting me, so I kick that leg back, open it up, and step over it. Now I got that latch leg coming in. Now his legs are a perfect cross, okay, like that. So now I use my bottom hand, grabs the toes, and raises it up. As it's raising up, I'm trying to use my elbow and like my hand, like I'm answering the telephone. I'm trying to keep it there until I find my elbow free to hit the bottom of the ground. Okay, you hear that? Now I have my Batman blades. I use my Batman blades here to push him away, to create enough space for my knee to come in the middle. Now I have the straight foot lock here. So this position, we're going to be in a 50-50 angle here. And my opponent's trying to attack the heel hook, okay? Which a lot of people do attempt. So it's very easy to break the grip, but it's hard to escape the position. So what I'm gonna show you is to keep in this position, but arm bar my opponent now, okay? So right away, of course, I want to take the bottom arm, his power arm, with my bottom hand right away. I want to try to pull it towards me. As I'm doing that, I'm going underneath his arm here like an arm drag, okay? Now, I'm gonna let go of the wrist control because I should have enough control with this arm. Pulse here, and this foot now comes out and over his shoulder, okay? Now I'm gonna scoot myself up. As I get close enough, next to his elbow, my hip's close to his elbow, I throw my leg over and finish with an arm bar while my leg is still in the 50-50. Remember to keep my hand underneath his elbow because I'm so far away and it's such an awkward arm bar position. Like this, or like this. Okay, now again. Okay, and here he's ripping on it. I gotta get the bottom arm, pry it off. Now my arm drag arm sneaks in. Notice he's behind here. This is what makes it a good lock. Post my hand on the ground. I could keep my foot in, but it just doesn't allow my hips to get too close, and it starts to create a calf crank effect here. So that's why I like to take out my foot out, just rest it on his chest, get my hips close as I possibly can. Now I can go back to two hands on one and lean back for an arm bar. So now I'm going to show a Shaolin as my opponent is attacking a knee bar. He's gonna attack the knee bar. I'm gonna do the most common defense is triangle my leg. Okay, while he's frustrating, trying to break my grips, trying to pry my lock to defend the knee bar, I'm gonna be working my Shaolin. So I'm here with my opponent. Okay, he's here, I'm playing. He goes for a knee bar. Of course, I need to lock the triangle, right, to defend the knee bar. Very common. Of course, now I need to start putting weight on that leg, but now a lot of times I can't accomplish coming up all the way, but I do have my Shaolin attack here. So real simple. Now the hand that was on the ground, okay, I'm gonna just untie my leg so you guys can see here. Okay, this is the angle I need to approach here. Okay, but I'm gonna lock it up, not all the way, so you guys can see. Okay, so now I'm gonna be leaning forward as I get off my hand here. I'm gonna lean forward and shoot this arm through. Okay, remember, it does not work too good when he has a full extended knee bar. Okay, you need to be ripping those feet apart, at least try to grab your toe, bringing it in, and then locking it, okay? Come up, shoot up for the Shaolin right there. Stuff the elbow, lean like you're leaning over his back to see what's going on. Lock up the Shaolin, please. So again, from a different angle, while my opponent is gonna go for a knee bar, I'm gonna defend the knee bar with a triangle as he's trying to unlock my triangle to defend the knee bar he's attacking. I'm gonna slip my arm in for the Shaolin. I'm here, playing with my opponent. He goes for a knee bar. I triangle my leg, of course, okay? I try to come on top. I post my hand on the ground. The hand that's on the ground is the hand that's gonna be attacking the Shaolin, okay? And there's my opening right here. So I wanna give it even more of an open door by using my free hand to open his elbow up. Now as I get off my hand, this is where I need to make my quick approach. Here, because now I'm off base, okay? That's what I want. I want to be on my back if I could, but you can also finish on top or pushing yourself back to the Shaolin. Now this footlock attempt that I was going to be attempt on me is gonna be a face down foot lock. Now what I'm gonna do is gonna use my body to rotate around and keep rotating enough times as it takes for me to lock my foot into a triangle. After I accomplish the triangle lock, to defend the straight foot lock, I'm gonna attempt the toe hold. So he's here now with the straight ankle lock, okay? Now he's gonna go belly down here, okay? So now I need to use my free foot to try to catch. I'm gonna go over. A lot of times people put the foot here, it doesn't work too good. Now you're just giving them more leverage on your joints here. So you need to go into it. You need to go in, putting your boot in, okay? Put your foot through the boot. Now I'm gonna go over, okay? Here, see this? Now I get my leg just a little bit. See, my toe is what's gonna save me, right there. Now I have, that's enough to lock like a close guard. Now, but like a close guard, okay? I'm gonna keep going until I get him now back to his side. Now look, I have the toe hold here, okay? Now I'm protected. I can take my foot back out and go for the toe hold. So another angle, going back to the straight foot lock, when my opponent now is going to all fours here, I need to not go away. Do not run away. Go back in. I'm pushing myself back in. As I'm doing that, I'm gonna turn now. This leg going over, okay? Notice his foot here is stuck. And now I'm gonna go over, put the hand on the hip to pull him in more, just so I can lock guard now. That protects the straight foot lock. Job's not done yet. Now with the power of my lock, I'm gonna use that to roll him over to the side. Now I can take my foot out, pry that out, right there, toe hold. Put it back in, toe hold. So now I'm going to show the boot to Shaolin when my opponent rolls for a toe hold and has the toe hold fully extended, even my leg fully extended out for the toe hold, okay? I'm gonna grab his bicep, I'm gonna put my foot, kick my foot through, okay, to break his grip, like I'm putting my foot through the hole, okay? Then I'm gonna slip in my Shaolin, okay? So here with my opponent, here, he's gonna roll for the toe hold and go for the toe hold. It's fully extended here, okay? I'm gonna use my top arm first to grab on his bicep, okay? Now, I'm gonna use my free leg on to his bottom wrist, okay? I'm gonna attack his bottom arm on his wrist. That's my target. 1, 2. Now, his knee doesn't matter. You can go in front if it's in the way, or you can go on top, okay? He is the bicep. Notice I have my thumb. Now I'm not grabbing it. I'm having a fin grip. Here. Now the foot on the wrist. I pull and I kick. Now I turn that toe in and I come up like this. Also pinning his arm to the ground. Now I can come up to the Shaolin right here. Stuff the elbow to the armpit. Lean my chest over him to apply more pressure. Then squeeze to finish. So now this Shaolin attempt is when my opponent goes for a toe hold. I call this the boot to Shaolin, okay? Real simple, you're acting like you're putting the boot on, and now you're gonna attempt a Shaolin, okay? So now I got my opponent here, in my guard, my open guard, okay? He sees the opportunity, goes for a toe hold, he attacks it, boom, he locks it up, okay? Real simple, gotta use right away, gotta use, and also keep in mind, don't flex here, relax. You gotta be relaxed here on your foot, okay? The moment you flex, he's gonna think you're resisting. You want him to be relaxed, be like water, okay? You don't wanna give him tension or else he'll snap. So first things first, 1, hand on the bicep, okay? 2, foot on the wrist, on the bottom arm. Now I'm gonna kick that to break that grip. Now I come up and turn my foot as I come up. Now I slip in that Shaolin right there, okay? As I lock in the Shaolin, here, I'm gonna stuff this into my armpit and use my chest to trap his arm to apply more pressure on the choke. Now I lock in the Shaolin and squeeze. So now I'm going to show a Shaolin when my opponent is going for a far side heel hook. Okay, going for an outside heel hook instead of going inside. Okay, so now I'm here with my opponent. He has a basic stance and for a foot lock, which we call it a heel hook. Okay, from the outside. So now he's gonna be cranking it. Of course, I don't want to go against it. I want to go with it. Okay, here. Now this is the opportunity. I have a chance to move around here. He's got not so much power to crank on my foot. So I'm pretty relaxed. I'm gonna now try to sit on him here. Sit on him here. Okay. Now clear over his head. Now use my hand cupping inside his bicep to pry that off. Okay. Now there's my Shaolin. Once I rest on my knee, I shoot the Shaolin and get the lock. So again, remember, I'm in a heel hook position where my opponent's on the outside. We're attacking same side limbs, okay? He's gonna be cranking on it this way, so I wanna go with it. And once we land here in push-up position, I wanna push myself into him, okay? Into him. Keep pushing myself into him. Now, this angle where I can now see his arms, I want to pry that either on his bicep or his wrist and pull that to me, okay? Now, set my knee down. Now I'm angled for the Shaolin right here, okay? Stuff, lock, lean. This guillotine escape I'm going to show you is when my opponent has a regular guillotine or a head and arm guillotine, okay? While I'm in close guard. So here now with my opponent in the guillotine, okay?
He has me in guillotine and his legs wrapped around my waist in the proper guillotine here, okay? For first things first, I need to put my hands like a dip position here, like I'm working out, okay? Now I need to jump to this side. I need to favor this side because I don't want to go towards my head and run over my head. That would hurt. So I want to choose this side where my opposite of my head's at. As I'm doing that, I'm really jumping, okay? I'm not scooting, I'm jumping.
Now we're in this position. Now try to pry your top leg out first because that's going to be the easiest one to release. And once this foot is out, now you kick the bottom knee to free both feet. Now he's still having the guillotine. I want to trap his elbow, keep it tight to my neck, shoot my bottom arm across his stomach over his thigh, and keep that tension in the back of my head to keep him pinned. Now his grip is going to break as I start to spin. Now there's the Shaolin right there. I come up to my knees to secure the position. Now secure the lock. You can fall on it or you can stay on top and finish. So now I'm going to show the sewer line escape, okay? It looks like you're going, well, maybe not a lot of you guys worked in the sewer lines or a plumber, but I've seen guys when they get out of it, it looks like this. It looks like a workout, little dip, little set right here, okay? So while I'm in the guillotine, I'm gonna
go into my position here, okay? A dip workout right here. Now I need to notice my feet is not wide on this one. My feet are close, okay? And I'm gonna jump to this side. I'm gonna go jump
and land on this side. Now once we land on this side, I'm gonna get my top leg out first because it's easier to get the top one out. The bottom one stays stuck because I'm also having resistance just from the gravity dragging on my opponent. So now once my top leg is out, I'm gonna use that top leg to free my bottom leg out. Perfect. Now once my legs are done being trapped, I grab his tricep and to keep it tighter to my neck. Now I shoot this bottom arm across the top of his thigh. And as I'm turning now, I'm gonna use my body to break his grip here. Okay, you're gonna see this grip right here break as I turn. Perfect. Now I slam it down to the ground. I cup the head as I shoot for the Shaolin. I go, okay, I'm here, here. Now I lock. I could fall, or I could stay on top and lean forward.
So now I'm going to show a Shaolin escape to Shaolin. When my opponent is on top of me, locking up a nice tight Shaolin. So I'm here with my opponent on
Off of sprawl position, and he's starting to crank. So right away, I want to look at the open door here on the side of him. And as I'm doing that, I'm gonna roll just like a front roll. Okay, I'm gonna roll off my shoulder. Now right here, I'm gonna put this hand on his thigh and this hand out to break his grip. Okay, now I need to hip escape and butt scoot out towards his hips. Now there's my Shaolin right there. Control the wrist, boom, Shaolin. And stay on your back. Do not come up. Stay down here. Now you do the lock and walk into him and squeeze.
So again, from a different angle, I'm going to show the Shaolin escape to the Shaolin. This time, you're going to see the angle where I'm going to break his grip.
So when I'm in this position, I'm gonna have my elbow up high, okay? Arm up high, creating a stiff frame for my neck. And I'm gonna roll off my right shoulder here. Now I'm almost in the side control position. Now I also need to make sure this hand goes across his thigh. And I do a head, like I'm trying to pop my head out the side of his hip here. And that's what does the break, okay? Now stay heavy here, keep this tight. Here, move your hip. Grab the wrist. Boom. Lock in the Shaolin.
I'm going to show you the Shaolin escape to the Americana, but before my opponent applies the Shaolin on me, I want to show you on the ground by myself before I attempt it with my opponent here. Okay, I'm going to be here into the Shaolin, okay, he's got his arm wrapped around here. I'm going to bring my elbow closest to my hip, now put my hands in a prayer position, now open my elbows. Notice as I open, my hands are kind of go to the side and do a little lock if you want, or you can just keep them open, okay? Or a lock. So now, as I have this lock grip here, I'm gonna go from shoulder to forehead to my other shoulder. Now I can let go of the grip and grab this wrist and attempt the Americana, okay? So again, one more time. I'm here in the Shaolin. 1, 2, scissor the feet, 3, 4, okay? So now watch with my opponent here, okay? I'm in Shaolin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I reach for the wrist. I look up and apply the pressure for the Americana, okay? So again, I'm going to be in the Shaolin. I'm going to use my prayer escape. And remember to keep in mind you're going from shoulder, forehead to your other shoulder, okay? Look at here. I'm here in the Shaolin. I'm going from shoulder to forehead to other shoulder. Okay, so I'm here with my opponent. He has my Shaolin locked up on me. I have my elbow back and I plant my hands like a prayer and I open my elbows up, right? Good, now the feet stance. Switches, I get the power of my feet to push forward till I land on my forehead. Now I'm gonna go to my other shoulder. Now this free hand goes and grabs the wrist. I look up and apply the pressure. And you get the tap. So now I'm going to show you when my opponent locks a Shaolin on me. I'm going to show you the escape I call the tortilla roll, where I'm simply putting my hand behind Frangia's back across his spine, and I'm kind of rocking chair like I'm rolling him over, just like I'm rolling a tortilla, okay? After I break that grip, I'm gonna fall into a bow hook, where I'm gonna use his elbow and rip it up, applying it. I'm gonna also use a heel hook lock, that's why I call it a bow hook, okay? I'm trying to mix two into one. So I'm gonna be cranking it just like a heel hook, okay? So watch here. So my opponent now
is falling for a Shaolin, and notice my arms are in front of me as they lock up, okay? So now first I need to push into him so his back, I can move my arm behind me and wrap it around his back here. Now I want him to fall on my arm. Now I put pressure. As I'm putting pressure, I'm reaching around to hug him. And now that's what's gonna create the break. You see that there? That just broke the grip. Now I still keep that pressure. I go back to the wrist and I stuff it under my armpit here. Now we're in this position. I'm gonna give him now my leg into half guard. This other leg kicks here to keep him here. Now I go for my hook on his elbow, and I'm gonna look up and I'll turn to the right. Up and to the right. And that's where you'll get the boat hook. From a different angle, I'm going to show you the tortilla escape to the bow hook submission. This is when my opponent falls down into the Shaolin from the head and arm. He's gonna fall down, okay, into the Shaolin, and notice my arm is not underneath his back. So I need to push forward into him. So now I have my space to get my arm behind here. And notice it's in this push-up position. So now as I fall on my arm back down, that's gonna create more pressure on his spine. I'm now gonna still push pressure on him to break that grip. That grip is really tough. So I'm gonna use my other hand to pull him into me. Perfect. Now I fall back down on my hip on his side. I'm gonna shoot my arm through his arm so now it's trapped. Now I got his wrist trapped here. Okay, I'm here nice and tight, applying pressure. Now I'm gonna lean back, give him my foot, kick this one right here. Okay, now I get the heel hook. I'm gonna look up and out. Up and out.
So now I'm going to show you the half Shaolin to a full Shaolin. Okay, this is when my opponent is on top of me in my half guard and attempting the Shaolin and falling down on me, towards my head. I'm gonna come on top, open my arm out in a circular motion, and keep going with the rotation and get him back into Shaolin.
Okay, so I'm here with my opponent, okay, in half guard. And he locks up the Shaolin on me here. And he feels so comfortable he even falls down and puts weight on it. A lot of people freak out and they're trying to hip away. What I like to do is I like to come on top and shoot my arm down to our legs and use my head and my arm to break that grip. Now I keep rotating my arm and get the Shaolin lock, okay? Now, real simple, this one goes over. I could fall down now and attempt.
So again, I'm going to show you a half Shaolin to full Shaolin. When my opponent is in half guard, locking up the Shaolin on me and feeling so confident and comfortable that he even falls down to try to even make it a little tighter. A lot of times the opponent that's in the Shaolin stays down there and freaks out and tries to escape while being on bottom. The best thing is to come on top, break the grip, and keep rotating your arm to lock in the Shaolin, which I will show you here.
Okay, I'm in half guard, my opponent. Okay, he locks the Shaolin and he even falls down to create more pressure, which a lot of people do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my leg over him, like I'm mounting him, post my hand on the ground, shoot my arm that's inside the Shaolin to my legs. Now I'm going to use the back of my head and my arm in a circular motion to break the grip. Keep that circular motion continuing till you get the Shaolin lock. Now, the hand that's basing, I'm gonna go over to lock the Shaolin.